I guess we'll say in our lifetime, you think there's a possibility of an AI girlfriend that could actually fulfill you?
I already have an AI girlfriend. And she bad. Just kidding. Yeah, probably.
No.
Probably. I mean, I'm sure Japan is cooking something up right now. I feel like even like 20 years ago, I feel like, wait, what's the robot? It was in like the Iraq video, and it's like completely self-aware.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know what it's called,
but you know what I'm talking about. And like it's self-aware, and that's now. Talking 10, 20 years, I'm sure. I mean, people have made movies about it. I'm sure there will be something, but that
okay.
I don't want to think about it.
I really strongly believe not. I think I can give you a fairly decent explanation.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say this. Let's say
where are we going with this, Ozzy?
Let's say it's gonna sound really bad for a second. So get the last one. Okay. Let's say I like a girl, and she doesn't like me back. Real human. I like her. She doesn't like me back, and I say, I'm gonna force you to love me. And let's hypothetically say I'm an evil person, so I lock her up in my room. I'm like trying to convince her to love me. I'm like, you will love me. I'm like, you must love me. I lock her up. I steal her, kidnap her. Will that girl ever love me because I did those things?
She could get Stockholm syndrome.
Okay, let's be real.
Okay, no. She will not ever love you.
Okay. The reason why she won't love me is because love is a choice. You can't force someone to love you. If I could force someone to love me, then hypothetically I would be able to pick that person, do something, and then they would love me. But in the real world, we know that girl, no matter what action I do, even if I force her to spend time with me 24/7, it doesn't make her love me. She has to, in her brain, say, I'm choosing to love you. So we know that love cannot exist without free will. And AI, although it can be trained to answer questions, it never will have free will because it's trained on algorithms. So if there's two identical AIs in the same situation, they've been trained the same way, they will always answer the same. So it is my belief that an AI will never be able to love. Although I think an AI can be able to entertain, but I don't think it'll be able to love. And similarly, I could give you another example, which is if you had a button and the day you had kids, you could hit that button and your kids would have no free will. They would just love you, do whatever you say, and follow every word perfectly forever. Would you hit it?
No.
You wouldn't hit it because you're taking away their love. You're just saying you're my little robot.
But I don't want AI kids. I want an AI girlfriend.
But do you get what I'm saying? That
yes,
love needs free will and AI can't have free will.
I think I'm just being devil's advocate. I agree with you.
Yeah, but be devil's advocate.
You've seen Her. You've seen the movie Her.
I for sure a movie.
But no, this is a point I was thinking about when we got into this conversation. Like, yes, AI is trained on algorithm and they're trained on data, but aren't humans in a way? Like, you start out as a baby and you learn from taking in information.
Okay, this is good.
I know. You learn from taking information, from learning from your parents. Theoretically, AI's parents are its creators. Parents would be our creators. And like over time, from your brain, you like start to connect things, your neurons are firing, and things start making sense. With AI, it gathers more data. And with the Internet of Things, big data, whatever you want to call it, it has even more data. So theoretically, wouldn't it be able to get to a faster free will than we could as kids?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair. It's complicated.
I have two thoughts, and I'll start with one. My one thought, counter argument would be, I think genetics changes this, because although humans could have the exact same, I can't remember if it would be nurturing or naturing.
Yeah.
You have the exact same experience. They can have differences because of genetics, where one person might prefer something, another person might prefer something else. The other thing is, if you believe in God, which, I mean, I'm a Christian.
I know,
I believe in God. You could say that God is our algorithm maker, that he makes our algorithm. I don't know how to get deep funny, so you think that God makes our algorithm. Well, a lot of people really struggle with the idea, people who aren't religious really struggle with the idea of how could a loving God send anyone to hell. They think they're like I'm a good person and I wouldn't send anyone to hell. So if God's more loving than me, how could he send anyone to hell? And this will make sense. I want to get your thoughts on. This is my belief. My belief is that heaven and hell do exist. And that they are somewhat what you think they are. Heaven is this really awesome place with all positive emotions and happiness, and hell is this really terrible place with all bad emotions and suffering. I think that is true. But I think what people don't talk about, and this is my understanding, is that and you'll hear spiritual people say this too. They'll say God is love. The Bible says God is love too. There's an acceptance between spiritual people and Christian people. The way I understand hell from all the research I've done is that heaven is simply living in relationship with God. You're at your closest point to God. God is love, so that's what makes it great. And to me, hell, while it is this horrible place, hell is existing in a place without God. And without God, there's no love, and that's why it's so bad. And just as I explained to you earlier that you can't have love without free will, is that God actually loves you so much that he gives you the free choice to decide if you want to spend eternity with him or without him. And so that while it seems messed up, like, oh, that people could go and suffer, it's actually, you couldn't have love if he just forced you to be in heaven with him. It's like, you can only have love if he gives you the option to choose to be with him or to choose not to be with him. I don't know what the question I was thinking of with this.
We were getting from algorithms and talking about free will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, though. I think that because essentially what you were saying with the rebuttal argument is that humans are technically
we live off of data
and algorithm. But I do think that if my belief is true, I think that we are created to have free will.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't think we could create robots to have free will.
I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone does yet, except maybe people working at Tesla with all the data. Elon.
Yeah.
I think genetics is a really good counter argument. I'm sure there is a world where like you can replicate genetics digitally, but to your point about like heaven and hell, I wouldn't consider myself a super religious person, but I do believe in some sort of higher power.
Yeah.
My like kind of opinion on what that is changes a lot, but I very much, I get what you were saying. And this is what I was trying to go.
Yeah.
There's something that I learned about in like sophomore year of high school that was really interesting to me, and always, whether you're very religious or not, always was interested to me. And I'm paraphrasing, but it was called like the iron laws of the universe, and it's like the reasoning why in history there is tsunamis, there's diseases, and there's like war, and it's kind of like the world and history kind of balancing itself so like people can live, so there's not overpopulation and things like that. So that was always like a point to my argument when people are like, if there is a God, why do we have war? And again, I would consider myself agnostic, but leaning that there is some sort of higher power. I don't know, but I think there's like parts to both of it.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things that we can't ever know for sure.
Until ChatGPT tells us.
Yeah. ChatGPT lays down the law.
ChatGPT 5's got the answer.